Hello Internet, welcome to the A Traveling Knitter channel. My name is Steph and this is the March episode for 2023. I have already filmed this podcast. I filmed it before I went to Chicago at the end of this month, but I ran out of time editing it, so I didn't post it. And as I thought, when I went to Chicago, I bought yarn. So I am just gonna re-film this. Hopefully it doesn't take too long because I do need to go to my very first class for American Sign Language. Before we get into it, the year of 2023 was, I'm like all over the place. I'm gonna put my drink down because it's super hot. What do we think of the mug? I went to Disney World in the month of March and I bought 3 mugs, I can't remember, but it says the mountains are calling and it has all the mountains, including Splash Mountain, which is no more. It is under construction. And I am one of those Disney adults that says, good, I want a Princess and the Frog themed ride. Now, my vote, I know there wasn't a vote, but my vote was actually for Emperor's New Groove because there's nothing for Emperor's New Groove at the parks. And I think it would have been perfect for when Kuzco is racing Yzma to the secret lab. It's like, what is the science thing? And you know, there's the part where they say pull the lever, Kronk, wrong lever, and they fall into a pit, into a pond with a bunch of alligators. Like, perfect. That would have been perfect. Anyway, so this episode I'm going to talk through all of my makes for March, what I finished, what I'm working on, touch base on, I just finished work. Touch base is a work word. Talk about my bullet journal, which is still going strong, and the things that have entered my life, yarny related. And at the end, I will put in clips from my trip to Disney. Way back, a few years ago, back when I was still traveling a lot, before my podcast episodes, I would do a bit of a montage of where I had been, just like a little bit of a vlog. And I thought that I would bring that back, but instead of putting it at the beginning, I'll put it at the end so that if anyone doesn't care about that stuff, you can skip it. Yeah, so that will be at the end. Hopefully you enjoy watching me at Disney. And I was there for the Princess Challenge, which is running a 10K and then a half marathon. And I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. So, my bullet journal, it's going on strong. I'm still really enjoying it. I do need to update. I had lofty plans of updating this before I left, ran out of time, and today's the first day of me being back from visiting my parents, so I definitely have not had any time to do this, but anyway, I do have a bullet journal for my crafting, so real quick, I've got a cover. And then these are the 6 sweaters that are like my dream sweaters that I want to knit. Now I have tons of other sweaters I want to get to, or tops, but these are definitely things that are on the forefront of my mind. There's January. Here's the one thing I finished in January, which honestly, you know what? I finished a sweater in January. That's great. So here was February, and I am tracking what's coming in and out of my stash, and then my ongoing projects, or my whips. So then for March, or for February, there are the 2 things that I had finished, and then sneak peek, there's my finished object for March, and here's the list of things, and you can see I have not updated that stash change. There are huge changes, so I really like it. I like, you know, putting in the little label. I just take a picture and then I just print it from my printer on paper. So this isn't even like a picture, which I actually like because I have, you know, it just gets thicker and this is already a lot of pages. So just have to write some information about my finished object. Very much enjoying this. So if you don't have a craft journal, this is fun. I really like it. Okay, finished objects in the month of March. You saw a sneak peek. I finished a hat. So this is something that I cast on in March and finished in March. This is a Pearl Soho pattern, the Lovely ribbed hat. I think that's what it is. It's a 2x2 ribbed. The picture has it folded over. I pretty much knit until I ran out of yarn, which I did in fact run out of yarn, which I think you can see that there's a color change. So this was the leftover yarn from the Oceanborn scarf, and this is a Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK. I don't think they sell this anymore, but in case you're on the hunt for it, this is the Irish Rain, which is color number 13. It originally has 478 yards. So I used the leftovers to make this hat. The very tip is the BFL Masham yarn that I used for the Orlina sweater, which was a test knit for making stories. It ended up being perfect. Now it's definitely very different yarn. Like if you touch the top, it's rustic, but I used it to essentially do 2 rounds, which was decrease all, kind of, I think. So nothing at all, really. Not a big deal to have used that. And the color variegation blends really well with the hat. So I think if I didn't call it out, you would have no idea that I used a different yarn at the top there. This was kind of like a bonus project. So like I said, I used leftovers, so it didn't count with removing anything from my stash, but it felt really good being able to make another project out of leftovers and then use every single bit. So this is going to be for my dad for Christmas. It sort of matches the Oceanborn sweater or Oceanborn scarf, which is going to be for him for Christmas. So it's just like a nice set. I have another finished object. I finished this I think 2 days before or 2 days after I got to my parents', or I finished it the day that I was at my parents'. And it is my Missoni Accomplished sweater. This guy, this has a saga. So I knit this out of yarn that I bought in 2020. I did a big Knit Picks order during the pandemic, and I purchased this yarn, which, do I have any of the ball bands for this? I do. This is Daydream. It's a DK weight, 50 grams, 142 yards, limited edition yarn. I had the colors Pewter and then Rose Quartz. I ran out of yarn. So I basically knit all of this and then did the sleeves, and I knit the sleeves to the length that I wanted. They're wide sleeves, there's no decreasing on them. And then I got back to the body and did some math and figured out I would not have enough yarn. I would not have enough yarn. So I had enough yarn to do this much. Like that's, ugh, look at that neck, double neck. And I didn't want this to be super cropped. So I then went and did detective work. This bra has been bothering me all day. it's a bra that I had in high school, and I probably should have gotten rid of it, but it still fits, but the straps keep falling down. Anyway. Ugh. Okay, so I then went to work. So I grabbed hashtags on Instagram. I was searching on Ravelry. I messaged a whole bunch of people asking if anyone had any leftovers. So what I did was I looked at who had knit any projects out of the yarn, and did you have leftovers that you would be willing to trade or sell or what have you. And I found somebody. I'll put her Instagram name down here in case you would like to follow her as a thank you from me. I feel so happy. This made me just so pleased that I was able to make it, you know, as long as I wanted, not feel rushed that I was running out of yarn, not have to rethink the sleeves because I had other plans of what I was gonna do. But you know what? I wanted it this way. So I can't wait. I just have to weave some of the ends in and then cut off the other ends. I've woven some of them in already. And I just, I love it. And the pattern is by Espostrico. It is a free pattern. It's gonna look so nice. I can't wait to wear it. I'm definitely going to be weaving in the ends and blocking it this week and then wearing it up at some point. What I envision is wearing this sweater with black leggings in like a cute loungewear, or wearing this in place of a jacket when I go to the gym. Orange Theory, don't really go to the gym, I go to Orange Theory. Yes, oh, so nice. It's definitely not as soft as I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. I did have it on I had it on for work for a little bit and it was itching me. So I'll have to keep that in mind and just see. Also too, I find that if I'm warm, things itch me more versus if I'm cold and I'm wearing like a hand knit sweater and I'm like outside, then it's much better. So I did notice that, especially this weekend in Chicago. I didn't wear this, I had a different hand knit sweater, but so pleased. So that is 2 finished objects, one of which has been on the needle since 2020, I'm pretty sure. And that feels great, either 2020 or 2021. But I'm able to knock off one more project that has been lingering. As for works in progress, and now I can use my bullet journal as like a notes. I have not put any more effort into all of the lights because I'm really hyper focusing on, you know, the other projects rather than dabbling into all of them. Okay. These are going to be finished this week. They could be finished tonight. It just depends on the time that I have. These are my poodle mittens. This one is completely finished other than I need to block it. Oh, do we see that? So cute, so cute. Oh, it turned out so cute. So for this one, I am on the thumb. Picking up has kind of been a pain. It's a pain to pick up the stitches for the top because you're picking up colorwork stitches. So not every stitch is a complete stitch, if that makes sense. At least that's what I'm finding. So that's been a little bit of a pain, but it's okay. I'm making it work. It's just not as neat as I would like it to be. So you can kind of see that here. Also, like, look at, I think this is how I'm carrying my yarn. I think this is like color dominance. I want it to look like this, but it made weird lines instead. Like this and this is the same. It is identical. So, well, visually it's not identical, pattern wise it's identical. So clearly color dominance was doing something here. So here's that other one. Whoop. I just need to weave in the ends and then do that thumb, which I did this thumb last night while watching soccer. So while watching soccer, which is 90 minutes plus extra time, I was able to weave in all the ends and do this complete thumb. So I could, there's tons of soccer. There's always soccer now, so, which is great. I'm not complaining. I love soccer, women's. This is a pattern by Jord Lindvik, and it is from the Big Book of Knitted Mittens, 45 Distinctive Scandinavian Patterns. I've talked about this book a lot in the last few episodes because of knitting these mittens. So this will probably be the last time you see this book for a very long time, in theory. I have weighed my yarn. I don't have enough of the white to make another mitten. So what I've been thinking about is either casting on some socks or doing a like a headband, but I think the poodle is too big for a headband. I think it's too big. I wouldn't have the word poodle, I would just have the poodles. I'm not sure, I'd have to check. And then also, do I even have enough yarn to do a headband? No, I think I would have enough yarn to do a headband. But do I need to? I'm not sure. Maybe actually, what would be cute is if I did a hat and then I could use a different color. So I could have my black and gray in the hat, but then use another skein like as the brim and then maybe at the top. That actually might be a thought. I'll have to look and see at my single skeins and see if there's something I could do in that aspect. I also, in this project bag, put in a ton of effort into my Savion cardigan by, I thought I just dropped a bunch of stitches, by Audrey Borrego, who goes by Yarn Flakes. So I'm in the middle of the round, which I normally don't do, but it actually helps visualize what I'm doing with this project. So it's a cardigan, and right now I am knitting back and forth. So that is the front, right? So front, this is separate, and then that is the back. So the last time I showed this project, I was working on the front left right here. I think I had already done this side. I could be wrong, but I think I had, maybe not. Either way, I did all of this and then I have connected it in the round. And so now I'm just, you know, back and forth, back and forth. So I'll move my stitch marker or progress keeper down. And there we are. I am using Hey Sister Yarn Co. in the sepia colorway. They no longer dye yarn, and this is the MCN base, which was fantastic. I'm still on my first skein. I am almost done with it, but what I have done is grabbed the same amount of yarn, and I'm going to use this to start the sleeves so that in case there is variegation or changes in the colorway, since it is all, you know, it's indie dyed, at least I'll have like a clean transition from the body colorway into the sleeve. So this won't get me far, but that's okay. I like wrapped it around my hand 125 times for each of them. I didn't have a scale, so I didn't weigh it, but they should be basically the same. So what my plan is, I have 3 skeins total. I will knit until I run out of yarn with the first skein, and then I will cast on one of the sleeves, knit that until my desired sleeve length, and then do the same with the other, and then that will allow me to add as much length as I want to the body of the cardigan. So if I get my sleeves done out of the way, then I know what yarn I have left, right? Like I don't have to play yarn chicken because I will have what I have. I don't like to cast on the sleeves immediately. I like to typically knit until I run out of yarn, just because it's like a natural stopping point. And then I have some fabric here when picking up to do those sleeves. I am looking forward to this. I think this is going to be great. The pooling is more obvious on camera, but even then it's like, I think it's nice pooling. It's like an even variegation. I think it looks really good. I'm not alternating skeins. I've thought about it, but I'm kind of leaning towards no, since it is a cardigan. I just don't feel like it, and I'm thinking that it'll be okay. Not obviously, but if it ends up not being okay, what I'll end up doing is a kind of like a transition into the other skein. So, you know, I'll just alternate for a bit until, I'll alternate for a bit and then fully transition to the other skein. That's my plan. I also cast on a cross stitch project. I have it in this Orange Theory bag, which I got from doing the dry try last year. I did not do the dry try this year because I was visiting my parents. This is a pumpkin stitchery, frosted pumpkin stitchery. It was a secret stitch along of 2022. And this is what it looks, you can buy this now, so it's not a big deal to show you, but this is what it looks like. Under the sea themed, super cute. I bought the kit where you got the fabric in the pattern. Here are all the thread colors. So there's DMC, Classic Colorworks, and then a Petite Treasure Braid, which I couldn't find the right color, or they didn't have it in stock, so I just bought one that I liked, which is a cool tone, taupey white. I like it. And then I made my own little tags so that I can hang them from this ring. And I got that idea from Amanda, who is a dyer and podcaster of Birch and Lily up in Michigan, originally from Canada. And here's my project. Blink and you'll miss it because I have done 3 stitches. That's okay. It's a start. It counts. So for works in progress, or projects that are still on my needle, that takes us to all of the lights, Savion, the Avena socks, poodle mittens, and I'll put on a kind of like a different category, 2 designs. And then from another fiber, needlepoint, there is Angler Girl, Jack Frost, and the Mystery. So if we separate, if we get rid of the if we get rid of anything that's not knitting and not design work, that puts me at 4 projects that are active on my needle. Which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's a lie. I'm forgetting about the blanket. Yep, I am. So I realized I didn't write the blanket down. So technically 5. I also have my northeasterly blanket. So 5 products active on the needles, with one of them that will most likely be done today, which is great. Now, unfortunately, I need to stop and go to my class, and then I will be back. So the lighting will probably be different, but I have a lot of yarn to show you, and I hope that'll be exciting. You'll see it in a second. I'm back. First ASL class in the books. Learned a lot. The last 2 segments of this podcast are the changes to my stash. So I did not cast a single thing new on, which means nothing left my stash. I gained 1 skein for my Missoni Accomplished, but I traded it. So I guess that's a net 0. I added 1 skein of Cumulus by Fiber Spates in the Earl Grey colorway. My plan for this is to hold it double with one of my stock yarns to make another everyday beanie, I think, a hat. It's, for the life of me, I can't like recall which cubby I put it in. In theory, it should be in this cubby. Can you see that? This cubby or this cubby. So this one. But I went through it and I didn't find it. So not sure where that yarn is, but I purchased this. I also received my February Patreon yarn from a Homespun House, which is this sock set. I am floored. I'm so excited for this one. This one is called Bouquet. Very excited. And then the 3 minis are Something Pretty, Puddle Jumper, and Bubblegum. Oh, it's kind of blowing those colors out because of my lights, but it is a pink, a blue, and a brown. And the brown is pretty light, or tan. It's definitely more true to color back here than it is. Yeah, it's whiter up there. So, I don't think I've been counting the mini skeins as stash, so really this is +2. And then Wool & Company. This is in Elgin. It's a fantastic store. They have so much. It is the biggest yarn store I've ever been to, and I've been to many in my life. As a disclaimer, in case you're new, I used to be a traveling software installer for primarily the eastern side of the United States. So every single install, which could be 1 week, 2 week, 4 weeks, I went to a yarn store and bought yarn. That's where the name kind of came from. So I have 2 sweaters quantity worth of yarn. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skeins of Suddenness Gone Tin Silk Mohair in the dusty green color, I think is what it's called. It doesn't have the name on it, or it might be gray green, I'm not sure, but the color is numbered 9071, and I will be holding that double with Suddenness Gone Double Sunday. This is a petite colorway, and this is 8051. I'm gonna hold these double. They are not the exact same color. There was no mohair that was in this color, but I thought this was a pretty good match. So that's what I went with. And I have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 skeins of this. This will be the Guernsey Genzer, which is a sweater out of this book, Søndagsgarn, Mikkeldama, which is Knits for Women. Yes, I found one. I've been wanting to get this since it like went viral on the knitting community. Wool & Company has copies of these, so if you would like a copy, you can get it from them. What's really cool is this is English and German, which is going to be really fun because I think I will try to I'll knit English, but I'll look at the German and see if I can understand that, because then that opens up a whole bunch of mainstream German pattern companies to me. So yes, this is one of my acquisitions, and the sweater that I bought that yarn for, technically my mom got it for me, is this guy. The other I purchased is these. So I bought a sweater's quantity of the Double Sunday in color 2321, and then I have 1 skein each of 9882 and 3553, and this is going to be a festival sweater. So lots of yarn added to my stash with that bit. And then lots of patterns added to my collection this month as well. So I did get Neons and Neutrals, which is curated by Amy Gillet, if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably my favorite thing in here, as I think most people, is this guy. Yes, I think I'm gonna make this with palette because that's gonna be way more affordable than using the called for yarn, which is I think they use Le Bien-Aimé. Okay, where the heck is the yarn? I know it is. Okay, it's all the way in the back. I knew it had to. 1 skein each of Felix. So all the different colors are from Felix, Le Bien-Aimé. So I did purchase this, and then you already saw my Mikkeldama Søndagsgarn. I also got this Arctic Knitting. This was a spur of the moment pickup because I hadn't seen it, hadn't heard of it, but I liked the aesthetic of it, and there was quite a lot of things in here that I liked, so I grabbed it. It's a lot of color work. I really like this one. And then I know this one looks so simple, but for some reason I'm really drawn to it. I really like it. So that is Arctic Knitting, The Magic of Nature and Colorwork by Annika Kontaniemi. And I believe this is the same publisher that did Knit This. And then I also grabbed this Søndagsgarn, which is Mascaposi. Oh my gosh, this is so my style. There's so much that I really like in here. They have their own slip over, but it's got Brioche cables. Gosh, I don't know if you can see that in the picture or if it just looks like washed out white. I love this So it's like a keyhole and then you use a black ribbon. This is my favorite thing in this book. They have a simple sweater. They have these really cool statement collars, which I think would look great with specific outfits. Very cool. And then they have these puff sleeve shirts. So they have it with long sleeve, they have it with short sleeve. And the puff sleeves aren't just like, there's a stitch definition onto the puff sleeves. I think maybe you can see it better with the blue. I love, and they do have them without the stitch detail. Like, I love this whole look. Other than the sneakers. I don't love the sneakers part of it. I'm very excited to knit something out of this. My mom also got me a project bag. This is one of the Magner bags. So it's a drawstring. It is wax canvas. The cord is leather, handle is leather. So it's a cute little sock set or small hat. The last thing that I purchased in the month of March, added to stash, are cross stitch. So I grabbed a couple patterns, and my vision is to cross stitch and then sew it as a project bag. I got this cute one. It's by Heart and Hand. It's a Honey of a Frill. So cute, so little. I really like that one. And then this one sort of matches. It's the Honey of a Tiny Town. There's a series. Cross stitch a lot of times has series. So here's one of this little town. So cute. Then I grabbed this one, T-Rex. They had another one that was Jurassic Park. I like that one more, but I'm not a coffee drinker. So I didn't feel the need, like I wanted it, but I went with the T one instead. It's so cute. And then lastly, I got Saltwater Scrapbook, mainly because of the seagull one. Because it looks like from Finding Nemo. Mine. So cute. They have an example of what you could do. I think there are other sets that you could purchase because I only have 5 and it's not all of those. And that is what I got. Yeah, so I completely destroyed everything that I had been working through from a stash inventory, but I have a strong suspicion these yarns will leave my stash pretty quickly because I am so motivated to knit these, which I know I have those sweaters at the beginning of my bullet journal that I really want to get to, but this is the year of the garments. I have finished 2 garments already, and I'm halfway to finishing a 3rd one, and I mean, it's literally the beginning of April, so this is very, very productive. The only other thing I'll chat or add are future plans. So I got into a test knit. I do need to purchase yarn for that. I know. So I need to purchase yarn for that. So that will be going on the needles here shortly, as soon as I get the yarn. I also am gonna wind up some yarn tonight because I am feeling very inspired, because I'm gonna be finishing those mittens here very shortly, and yeah, so I'm feeling inspired and I'm itching to start something new. I'm gonna be casting on the Suburban Wrap by Joji Locatelli. And the yarn I'm going to be using is Backyard Fiberworks. I don't think they dye anymore. I tried looking up their Instagram handle and they haven't posted anything recently. And they also haven't posted pictures of their yarn, and the link to a website is broken. So I don't think they dye anymore, but this is the yarn I'm going to be using. So there are 3 colors. Yeah, so you can count. This is Marine. This is a sock. It's 100% superwash, 400 yards, 100 grams. This one in the middle is Bittersweet, same base. And the one on the end, the variegated one, variegated speckly one, is Trading Post. So this will be my Suburban Wrap. So what I plan to do is follow a similar pattern style with colors. So color 1 on Joji's sample is the black, so the darkest color. I'm going to use Marine, my darkest color. Dolly, which is the white color. I'm going to be using my variegated color, so that would be the, mostly white. And then color 3, which is the purple lilac, I'm going to use Bittersweet, my orange color. I have a feeling that this is also going to fly off the needles because at the moment, my cardigan has become a mindless knit, but everything else that is on my needles is not mindless anymore. So the Avena socks are, I'm at a very complicated spot. So it's the heel, which is why I stopped and I didn't continue. I just didn't understand what it was asking me to do. And now that there's been so much time, it is just going to take me a bit to figure out where I am in that pattern. So that is, that's kind of the blocker on that. It's not really a blocker, but it's a hesitancy because I can't just jump right back in. And then my All of the Light cardigan is a complete all over cabled with lots of different cables. So that one is going to just take attention. And that's basically it, right? That's it. So I want to add a shawl to the things that I'm currently working on, and I know that I'll breeze through it. And I, like I said, need to add that sweater, which once I cast that one on, all the others are gonna go to the wayside for it. But I don't know if I'll get to another sweater cast on. It really just depends on how quick I get through the test and if I finish Sévillon, which just feels very lofty at the moment, but we will see. Once I finish the mittens, I really want to, when I finish something, I want to just clear the leftovers. Like, that is my goal. I want to stop like stashing the leftovers because it just then it just sits there for years and years and years. So I really want to use up those leftovers, and that might end up being great because maybe I can grab something else from my stash. So with that, this episode is probably going to be pretty long because I'm going to put in my montage of going to Disney. So if you're interested, please stick around. If you're not, that's cool. I'll see you on the next episode or next video. I have been going to Disney for as long as I can remember, but I hadn't been to Disney World since 2017. I'd been to Disneyland in 2019. So Disneyland didn't have the Star Wars section when I was there. So it was like early 2019, I'm pretty sure, or it was 18. I want to say it was 19, but so in 2017, Disney World did not have the Star Wars area. the Epcot expansions, so Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't there, the Ratatouille ride wasn't there, and of course right now they're expanding for Moana. So Hollywood Studios is where the Star Wars section is. And then when I went to Disney World in 2017, we did not go to Animal Kingdom, so I did not go to the Pandora or Avatar World section. So there was so much new that I hadn't seen, and it was just so fun. I worked on Friday? Thursday? I think I took Friday off. Yeah, I think I took Friday off. So I worked on half day Thursday, and then we flew out of Cincinnati because it was the only airport that had direct flights to Orlando from Ohio, which isn't that ridiculous? Like Dayton didn't have any, Columbus didn't have any, Cincinnati was the only one. So we flew out of Cincinnati. That wasn't like $3,000. Flew out of Cincinnati, we arrived late in the evening. We stayed at a hotel that I had actually stayed before at. Once we pulled up from the Uber, I was like, wait a second, I know exactly where we're at. There's a restaurant that shares this parking lot, and there's a CVS over there. So that was kind of fun. I knew exactly where we were. We're basically across the street from Universal. There's like a pocket of hotels that are right there. And then we decided that we wanted to rope drop Animal Kingdom the next day. And so we figured that we had to leave our hotel early in the morning. So we woke up at 5 and took an Uber out to our hotel, got our bags checked like by the valet, hopped onto the bus and got to Animal Kingdom and rope dropped, which I've never done before. So that was exciting. I used my Apple Watch, which I got for my birthday, and that was so exciting to be able to just do this with everything. Like you could pay with your watch, you got into the parks, PhotoPass was all on there. So it was really cool. You know, anyone that has been going to Disney is probably like, okay, that's not that cool, but like this it wasn't as prevalent in 2019. So, did Animal Kingdom, we did everything. We rode Expedition Everest by ourselves, which was hilarious to me because that is always like a long line. I really liked Pandora. I love the Flight of Passage flight ride. That was my very favorite ride until the last day. It was so good. It was so good. I was a big fan of that ride. If we could have ridden it twice, I would have. So that was great. We got everything done, and then we got our race packets, and then I realized that I had to wake up at 3 a.m. to make it to the race. I didn't look at the fine print at how early I was gonna have to be waking up. So we woke up at 5 the first day. I woke up at 3 the next day, ran a 10K, and then did a full day at Hollywood Studios. Then the next day we woke up at 3 and ran a half marathon. And then we took the rest of the day off, but we still went to Downtown Disney and then did dinner at Ohana. And then the next day was our rest, like waking up late. Yeah, we still woke up at like 8 o'clock to get to the parks. And then the next day we woke up at 6 o'clock, I think, to get to Chef Mickey's. So my body has never been more tired. Never been more tired. I absolutely would do a Disney race again, even though it was so expensive and it was so early. It was just so fun. The costumes were fun. It was just a really great atmosphere. But I would absolutely not do park days. Absolutely not. No, no. My body hurt. I've never been in that much pain from moving my lower half, and my abs were like, my abs hurt, my side hurt, my hips hurt. Everything hurt because I was starting to compensate, getting up and down from rides. Awful. Oh, it was awful. You kind of would cramp. So I'm not selling it, am I? But I had so much fun. I was pretty much recovered by like the next day, and then it was just like the wear and tear of all day being on your feet at the parks. The bummer was that I did get COVID when I came home. I got home at 2 a.m. on Wednesday. I had taken Wednesday off, and when I woke up on Wednesday, I knew immediately that I was sick. Got a test positive for COVID. And yeah, it really knocked me down. I was sick. I woke up nauseous. I was not eating. So I was sick at the beginning of February, and then I was sick at the beginning of March. It was all sorts of great, but obviously I'm better now. But because I had taken the time off from work, I couldn't really afford taking more time because like they would give me more time. I'm lucky in that we actually have pandemic leave, so it's like separate from my sick leave and all that. But I was just behind with my projects and my work, so I couldn't. So I ended up taking 2 hours a day and then just fitting in naps where I could. And I worked from my bed. Like if I had half hour where I didn't have a meeting, I put my timer on and I fell asleep, and I fell asleep immediately. I was that tired and just, you know, struggling to the weekend, and then sick on the weekend, sick the next couple days. So it was a bit rough, but yeah, it was my first time being sick with COVID. And I think it was allergies, lack of sleep, all day at the parks, racing, and then just being around all those people. I'm sure my body just wasn't able to fight it off or whatever. So I had a blast though. I know it probably sounds like I didn't, but I did. I loved it. It was so much fun. I got mugs. We had so many snacks, so much food, and I cannot wait to go to Disney again. I love it. I love going. It is always very expensive though, because I just can't say no to anything. I'm like, treat myself, treat myself, treat myself. I'm an adult, I can get whatever I want, because I save money before I go to Disney. And then, you know, I have this like big budget. Like my budget is very big when I go to Disney, because I'm like, you know, been stocking away money. And yeah, so it was like, do I want this drink, or do I just want to buy both of them and just drink a little bit out of both? Which I know sounds excessive of me, but you know what? That's just what I did. They had lots of different treats, and I just got them all. So it was so much fun. I loved it. I hope you enjoy the video. And in April, you can kind of see a sneak peek. I'll talk about what I got at YarnCon, and I'll talk a bit more about YarnCon, so that this isn't super long, even though it already is. Anyway, if you enjoy any part of my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have questions, comments, let me know down in the comments. Are you still going strong with your no buy, add to whatever, any of it? Let me know. We can commiserate or congratulate, whichever route we are. And I will talk to you in another video. Bye.
Your imagination becomes reality in theme parks and attractions. Authentic experiences are found in art scenes, sporting events, and small business. In Orlando, there's something for everyone. Hope you
Yep.
Oh, that way.
That's okay, Truly. What do you think? Oh, hi. All right, I go that way. Let's try it again. So we're scanning. Truly, do you see our friend now? Okay, I think he sees you. Oh, and he lands on it. Takes the money.
He's off on his next adventure. Remember, the wilderness must be explored.
Roar!
In Disney's Animal Kingdom.
He's not the part of the color, they can't actually pronounce it. They like to let a water up to one of them. On land, though, they can't reach up speeds up to 35 miles an hour.
Nope, you're not in it. Good morning. It's 3:20 and I'm off to go find a bus. Look at my shirt. Unfortunately, I just realized it's mostly going to be covered up by the bib. But that's that. That's where the anxiety starts. So I'm trying to find the monorail. Honestly, the worst part of that was the wait. So I got up at 3 o'clock, 3:10, and then had to take a bus to be at a parking lot by 4. And then they start the corrals at like 5, but your crowd doesn't go until after 6. So, like, that is the longest I've ever been awake before a race.
You said you deployed patrol units, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
I ask because I didn't see them.
Sir.
I want stormtroopers crawling this outpost. Until we have what we need, no one rests. You don't rest. Understood?
Understood, sir.
Should we take a selfie?
Yeah.
Maybe found a better voice actor.
Transmission from Ray. BB-8, is everyone assembled? Good. Shouldn't you be at flight prep? Recruits, thank you for joining the cause. A covert resistance team led by my friend Finn has infiltrated a First Order Star Destroyer that is now headed to this system. Your outpost on Batuu is no longer safe. We have transports waiting to take you to General Organa's secret base on Pakara. I'll regroup with you there. The Resistance desperately needs your help in our fight against Kylo Ren and the First Order. Remember, it is vital that you keep the location of the Pakara base secret. Lieutenant Beck, one of our top commanders, will lead you.
Affirmative. Transport is ready. 9-Num and I shall personally see them delivered.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Welcome to the cause. May the Force be with us.
Commander Poe Dameron and a squadron of X-Wings shall escort us to the rendezvous point on Pakara.
Roger, this is Black Leader. I hear you're a fine-looking group of recruits. Well, no time to waste. Let's get you on your way to the General.
Stand clear. Deck doors opening now.
to go spend more money. I think it's a buffet.
Has stopped temporarily and will resume function at any time. Please remain seated for your own safety. Thank you.